Daily Meditation Series, Bhagavad Gita, Chapter 1, Verse 27. Tan samiksha sakaunteya, sarvan bandhun avastitan, kripaya parayavishto, vishidan idam abravit. When the son of Kunti, Arjuna, saw all these different grades of friends and relatives, he became overwhelmed with compassion and spoke thus. Commentary. Bhaktivinoda Thakur, the great pioneer of Krishna consciousness, has stated that our living condition in this world is a hard struggle for existence. The Thakur compares the struggling living entity to criminals being punished by government agents, specifically by dunking the criminal's head underwater. The criminal nearly drowns in the process until he is allowed to surface and take a breath, and then he is dunked underwater again. When people ask us, "How are you doing?" most people answer, "I'm fine, thanks." This state of being fine is just like that criminal taking a breath before being dunked again into the water. But our default setting on earth is factually miserable, with a journey that begins in our mother's womb. Lord Kapila, the philosopher incarnation of Vishnu, in his teachings, vividly describes the human child within the womb, their lamentable condition, and finally, the child's prayer to God for help. As Lord Kapila explains in the 3rd canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, when the human child achieves consciousness after about 7 months of development, they become acutely aware of their discomfort and cry piteously. There are worms in the mother's body that bite the baby. Its back is arched like a bow, and it also suffers from gastric acidity. In this condition, the child constantly loses and regains consciousness, moment after moment, as if being tortured. Crying piteously, a pious human child can remember, by the grace of the Lord, their former 100 births, and then the child begins lamenting that they are once again entrapped in a strange mother's womb. The child then prays to Lord Vishnu to please release them from the bondage of the womb, and the child promises to surrender their life to the Lord. Shortly thereafter, the child is delivered through the birthing process, but forgets his promise, and is simply enamored by parental affection. When an adult student reads the Srimad Bhagavatam and surrenders to a spiritual master, they are simply confirming the promise they made to Lord Vishnu in the womb all those years ago. In the Christian tradition, this rite of passage is called confirmation, and appropriately so. If a human is unwilling to follow a life of discipline and neglects the orders of the spiritual master, they will be forced back into another mother's womb along a perpetual course of action and reaction. There is no release from this karmic bondage except through Vishnu's benediction, as expressed by the instructions of the spiritual master. And these conclusions are supported by scriptural evidence and logic.